The moment you realize you are part of a divine assignment, your entire perspective on life shifts from personal ambition to spiritual responsibility. Being chosen isn't about status or being better than others. It is about being available and sensitive to the needs of the broken. You have been equipped with specific experiences and a unique level of empathy that allows you to reach hearts that others cannot touch. This realization is the first step in understanding that your life is a tool in the hands of the Creator, designed for a rescue mission that only you can complete. The calling often begins as a subtle internal pressure or a recurring thought about a specific person's well-being. This is the weight of the assignment pressing against your spirit, urging you to move beyond your comfort zone. You might feel unqualified or even fearful of the responsibility. But the calling is never based on your own strength. It is based on your willingness to be a conduit for a higher power. When you accept this weight, you begin to see that your presence in certain situations is never accidental, but strategically planned for a greater purpose. To fulfill this mission, you must develop a heightened sense of spiritual discernment to distinguish between your own thoughts and a divine command. This requires a level of stillness and focus that the world often tries to drown out with noise and distraction. As a chosen messenger, your ears must be tuned to the frequency of heaven so that you can hear the silent cries for help. This sensitivity allows you to act with precision, providing the exact word of encouragement or the specific act of kindness that prevents someone from giving up entirely. Your obedience in this assignment serves as the physical manifestation of God's love on earth. Many people are praying for a sign or a reason to keep going, and you are the answer to those prayers. By stepping out in faith, you validate the faith of others and prove that they have not been forgotten. This isn't just about helping. It is about restoring hope and demonstrating that there is a divine order looking out for the weary and the lost through people like you. Finally, you must understand that the impact of your assignment carries a ripple effect that extends far beyond a single moment of rescue. When you save someone from their darkest hour, you are also saving their future, their family, and the people they are destined to influence. Your yes to the call creates a chain reaction of healing and restoration. This is the ultimate goal of the chosen, to act as a catalyst for transformation, ensuring that light reaches the places where darkness once seemed absolute. Recognizing the soul you are meant to save requires you to look past the surface and see the hidden pain that people work so hard to mask. Often the person in the greatest need of a miracle is the one who seems the most put together or the most silent. You are being called to look into the eyes of those around you and perceive the flickering light that is on the verge of going out. This divine recognition is a gift given to you so that no one in your circle of influence has to suffer in total isolation. The Spirit often highlights a specific individual to you, through a sense of urgency that feels both foreign and familiar. You might find their face appearing in your mind during prayer or feel a sudden, intense need to check on them without any logical reason. These are spiritual red alerts designed to bypass your intellect and move you directly into action. Trusting these prompts is essential because, in the realm of the Spirit, timing is everything, and your intervention could be the barrier between life and death for that soul. Sometimes the person you are called to save is someone you would least expect, perhaps even someone who has wronged you in the past. The divine calling transcends human emotion and personal history, focusing instead on the intrinsic value of every soul. Being chosen means having the grace to extend a lifeline even when it feels difficult or undeserved. This radical form of compassion is what marks you as a true vessel of the divine, capable of breaking cycles of bitterness and replacing them with life-giving support. You must remain vigilant against the distractions that seek to blind you to the needs of the soul God is pointing out. The busyness of daily life, personal stress, and digital noise are all tools that can prevent you from seeing the assignment right in front of you. By intentionally making space for awarenesses, you ensure that you don't miss the subtle cues and cries for help. Your focus is the bridge that allows the rescue to take place, so you must guard your attention and keep it fixed on the mission at hand. Once the individual is identified, your role is to provide the specific support that mirrors the compassion of the Creator. Whether it is a conversation, a resource, or simply your front presence, you are acting as a guardian for that soul. This connection is not a coincidence but a divine appointment scheduled before time began. By showing up for that person, you are fulfilling your highest calling and ensuring that the soul entrusted to your care finds the strength to overcome their current trial and step into their own light. The whisper of a divine calling often arrives not as a thunderous roar but as a persistent, quiet nudge in the depths of your spirit. This internal voice is distinct from your own logic or desires. It carries a weight and a clarity that demands your attention. Learning to distinguish this whisper from the constant chatter of your daily thoughts is the first step in walking the path of the chosen. It is a soft vibration in your soul that resonates when you encounter someone in need, signaling that you are the one designated to step in and offer grace. Ignoring this whisper often leads to a sense of spiritual restlessness, as if you are out of alignment with your true purpose. This discomfort is actually a gift, serving as a compass to guide you back toward the mission you were created for. When you choose to listen, you realize that these subtle prompts are actually precise instructions for intervention. The more you respond to these small nudges, the more clearly you will hear them, turning a faint suggestion into a powerful guide for your daily life and interactions. The world is designed to be loud and distracting specifically to drown out the divine frequency you are meant to follow. Cultivating a spirit of inner silence is essential so that you can catch the subtle cues that God sends your way. Whether it is a sudden thought of an old friend or a feeling that you need to change your route home, these are often the ways the whisper manifests. By prioritizing this spiritual hearing, you become a responsive instrument, ready to act the moment a call for help is broadcast to your heart. True courage is found in the moment you decide to act on a whisper that makes no sense to your rational mind. You might feel foolish or hesitant to reach out to someone based on nothing more than a feeling, but that is exactly where faith operates. The whisper doesn't always provide the full map, it only provides the next step. By taking that step, you unlock the next level of the rescue mission, proving that you are a reliable steward of the divine messages intended for those who are suffering in silence. Ultimately, recognizing the whisper is about building a relationship of trust with the source of your calling. It is an acknowledgement that there is a higher intelligence at work, orchestrating encounters and providing solutions before the problems are even visible. When you honor the whisper, you are participating in a grand design of mercy. Your attentiveness ensures that the message of hope is delivered exactly when it is needed most, solidifying your role as a vital link in the chain of divine intervention. Your influence is not just a tool for personal success. It is a strategic lifeline intentionally placed in your hands to pull others out of the darkness. You have been given a specific platform, whether in your career, your family, or your community, to serve as a beacon of stability for those who are struggling. This influence is a form of spiritual currency that you are meant to invest in the lives of the broken. Understanding the power of your voice and your actions allows you to wield your presence as a force for restoration and protection. Strategic compassion requires you to look at your resources and talents as assets belonging to a higher mission. You are positioned in certain circles where others cannot reach, giving you unique access to hearts that are closed to everyone else. This placement is never accidental. It is a calculated arrangement designed to put a savior in the room before the crisis hits its peak. When you use your status to advocate for the weak or your strength to support the weary, you are fulfilling the strategic purpose of your life. Every word you speak and every action you take carries a weight that can either crush a spirit or lift it toward the light. As a chosen person of influence, you must be intentional about the energy you bring into a room and the way you engage with those who feel invisible. Your kindness is a weapon against the despair that threatens to overwhelm the people around you. By choosing to be a source of constant encouragement, you create a safe harbor for souls who are being battered by the storms of life. The true test of your influence is how you use it when no one is watching, or when there is no personal gain involved. Strategic compassion often involves making sacrifices, giving your time, your attention, or your reputation to stand in the gap for someone else. This selfless use of power is what distinguishes a leader from a chosen vessel. You are called to be a shield for the vulnerable, using your strength to absorb the blows that they are not yet strong enough to handle on their own. When you fully embrace your role as a lifeline, you become a catalyst for a transformation that outlives your own efforts. Your influence becomes a bridge that leads people out of their personal prisons and into a place of freedom and purpose. This is the highest expression of your calling, to take the platform you have been given and turn it into a foundation for someone else's comeback. By being a strategic lifeline, you ensure that the love and light you carry are effectively distributed to the very edges of the world's pain. Unmasking your purpose begins with the realization that your existence is not a collection of random events, but a deliberate response to a world in crisis. You have been placed in this specific timeline with a set of internal tools designed to combat the darkness that surrounds you. Being the chosen one means peeling back the layers of societal expectations and personal insecurities to reveal the warrior underneath who is prepared for spiritual combat. Your purpose is the light that shines brightest when the world is at its darkest, acting as a fixed point of hope for those who have lost their way. The role of a chosen rescuer requires you to be comfortable in the middle of chaos, standing firm when others are fleeing in fear. You are not meant to shy away from the brokenness of humanity. Rather, you are called to step directly into it with a spirit of authority and peace. This unmasked purpose gives you the clarity to see the root of a crisis rather than just the symptoms, allowing you to offer solutions that bring lasting healing. Your presence in a room should naturally shift the atmosphere, replacing panic with the quiet confidence of one who knows they are backed by a divine power. In a crisis, the chosen one acts as a mediator between heaven and earth, bringing divine perspectives into human tragedies. You are the one who remains calm enough to hear the instructions that others are too overwhelmed to perceive. This unique positioning allows you to organize, comfort, and direct those who are paralyzed by their circumstances. By embracing this role, you become a tangible proof that the Creator has not abandoned His creation, serving as the hands and feet of a rescue mission that is constantly in motion. Your purpose is often revealed through the very challenges that have tried to break you in the past. The scars you carry are not signs of weakness. They are your credentials proving that you have survived the fire and can now lead others out of it. This history of resilience allows you to speak with an authenticity that resonates with the suffering, giving your words the power to break chains. You are a specialist in survival, and your mission is to teach that same resilience to those who currently feel defeated by their own battles. Walking in your unmasked purpose means accepting that you are a target for opposition, but also a recipient of unlimited spiritual supply. As you move to save others, you will find that the resources you need appear exactly when they are required. You are never sent on a mission without being fully equipped for the journey. By focusing on the lives you are meant to protect, you align yourself with the flow of divine providence, ensuring that your own needs are met even as you pour yourself out for the sake of the mission. The hidden intercessor is the one who stands in the gap for others behind closed doors, fighting battles in the spiritual realm that no one else even knows are taking place. You may find yourself waking up in the middle of the night with a heavy heart for someone, or feeling a sudden urge to pray for a person you haven't seen in years. This is your call to duty as a spiritual guardian. Someone's breakthrough is currently hanging in the balance, and your willingness to stand in the gap is the weight that will tip the scales in their favor. Intercession is a form of anonymous heroism where you take on the burdens of another as if they were your own. While the person you are praying for may never know your name or the role you played in their victory, the impact of your intervention is eternal. You are pushing back the forces of despair and opening doors of opportunity that were previously locked. This hidden labor is what fuels the miracles that people see in the light, proving that the most significant work is often done in the quietest moments of devotion. There is a profound connection between your obedience as an intercessor and the timing of someone else's deliverance. Often, a person reaches their breaking point at the exact moment you are prompted to intercede for them. Your spiritual labor provides them with a second wind, a sudden burst of hope or a change in circumstance that allows them to keep going. You are the invisible support system that prevents them from collapsing, acting as a pillar of strength while they find their own footing again. Being a hidden intercessor requires a selfless heart that seeks no credit and asks for no applause. It is about the pure desire to see another soul restored and thriving. This level of spiritual maturity allows you to be trusted with deep assignments that others might handle with pride or carelessness. Because you are willing to work in the shadows, you are granted a unique level of influence in the spiritual realm, where your voice is heard and your petitions are honored with swift and powerful responses. Ultimately, your role as an intercessor is what secures the breakthroughs that change the course of history for families and communities. When you pray, you are not just reciting words. You are releasing the power of the divine into a situation that seemed hopeless. You are the reason someone didn't give up yesterday and the reason they will succeed tomorrow. By embracing this hidden calling, you ensure that the light of the divine continues to break through the darkness, one intercepted crisis at a time. Responding to the Spirit's prompting requires an immediate departure from the world of hesitation and overthinking. When the call to intervene arrives, it often comes with a sense of urgency that demands you move before your rational mind has a chance to talk you out of it. This split-second window is where miracles live. Being the chosen one means training your heart to beat in rhythm with the divine, so that when a soul is in crisis, your reaction is as natural and swift as breathing. You must understand that your delay could mean someone else's defeat, making your speed of obedience the most critical factor in the rescue mission. The Spirit's prompting is a direct signal from the heart of the Creator who sees the hidden tears and the silent screams for help that no one else can hear. When you feel that sudden, sharp push to call a friend, stop and help a stranger, or speak a word of truth, you are receiving a high-priority transmission. This is not the time for maybe later or I'll do it when I'm ready. The person on the other end of that prompt is likely at their absolute limit, and your immediate action is the physical evidence they need to know that they are still seen by a higher power. Urgency in the spiritual realm is never about panic. It is about precision and timing. You are being positioned as a first responder in a spiritual emergency, equipped with the peace of mind to handle high-pressure situations. By responding right now, you interrupt the cycle of despair before it can take root and become permanent. This rapid intervention serves as a shock to the system of the person you are saving, pulling them out of their downward spiral and giving them a solid foundation to stand on once again. To live in a state of constant readiness, you must clear the clutter of your own life that creates spiritual lag. If you are too preoccupied with your own worries or schedules, you will miss the subtle shifts in the atmosphere that signal an urgent need. The chosen one lives with an always-on mentality, keeping their spirit sensitive to the slightest vibration of a divine command. This level of availability is what makes you a reliable asset in the kingdom, someone who can be trusted with the most time-sensitive and critical assignments. Ultimately, your willingness to respond without delay proves that your faith is more than just a concept. It is an active, living force. Every time you act on a prompt, you strengthen the connection between heaven and earth, proving that the divine still moves through human hands. Your now is the answer to someone's how much longer. By refusing to wait, you become the hero of a story you didn't even know was being written, ensuring that the light of hope arrives exactly when the darkness feels most overwhelming. Moving from being chosen to being commissioned is the process of turning your internal awareness into an external mission. It is one thing to know you have a calling, but it is another thing entirely to accept the weight of that responsibility and carry it into the world. Commissioning is the formal activation of your purpose, where you stop observing from the sidelines and start operating as an authorized agent of grace. This transition requires you to shed your insecurities and put on the mantle of leadership, recognizing that you are no longer living for yourself but for the souls entrusted to your care. The weight of the calling is not meant to crush you, but to ground you and give you the gravitas needed to fulfill your duties. When you feel the heavy burden for the lost and the hurting, it is a sign that you have been granted a portion of the Creator's own heart. This weight serves as a reminder of the stoics involved in your mission. It keeps you focused, disciplined, and humble. It is the anchor that prevents you from being swept away by the distractions of a superficial world, ensuring that your life remains centered on the work of restoration and rescue. To be commissioned means to walk with a new level of authority that comes from knowing exactly who sent you. You no longer speak or act on your own behalf, but as a representative of a higher kingdom. This realization changes the way you carry yourself and the way you interact with the world around you. You have been given the keys to unlock doors of opportunity and the sword of truth to cut through the lies that hold people captive. Your commission is your legal standing in the spiritual realm, allowing you to command peace in the midst of any storm. A commissioned soul understands that their training is never truly over and that every trial they face is a preparation for a greater assignment. You are constantly being refined so that you can handle more weight and more responsibility. This process of growth is essential because the people you are called to save will bring complex problems that require a seasoned and stable guide. By leaning into the pressure of the calling, you develop the spiritual muscles necessary to carry the heavy burdens of others without breaking under the strain. Finally, stepping into your commission means accepting that your life is a living sacrifice for the benefit of humanity. The chosen one doesn't seek the spotlight. They seek the souls that the spotlight has missed. Your reward is not found in public praise, but in the private knowledge that you were faithful to the charge given to you. As you move forward in your commission, you become a beacon of hope, proving that one person's obedience can change the trajectory of countless lives. You are now a fully activated soldier of light, ready for whatever the mission requires. Divine synchronicity is the evidence of a higher intelligence, weaving the threads of human lives together to create a masterpiece of timing and purpose. When you find yourself in the right place at the right time, encountering someone who is at their lowest point, it is not a random coincidence. It is an orchestrated collision of needs and solutions. You are the physical manifestation of an answer that has been traveling through the spiritual realm, finally arriving at its destination through your presence. Being the chosen one means recognizing that your daily schedule is often a divine itinerary designed to bring hope to the hopeless. The beauty of being the answer to a desperate prayer is that you often don't need to have all the answers yourself. You simply need to be present. Many people are crying out for a sign that they matter or that their pain is seen by something greater than themselves. Your sudden appearance, your unexpected phone call, or your simple gesture of kindness serves as that definitive sign. You are the tangible proof that their prayers did not fall on deaf ears. By standing in that moment of synchronicity, You validate their faith and provide the strength they need to keep moving forward. Walking in synchronicity requires a level of spiritual fluidity where you are willing to let your plans be interrupted for the sake of a higher mission. The most significant encounters of your life will likely not be on your calendar. They happen in the grocery store, in a brief exchange at work, or during a detour you didn't want to take. When you view these interruptions as appointments, you unlock the ability to see the divine hand in everything. Your life becomes a series of high-stakes connections where every person you meet is a potential soul waiting for the light you carry. You must trust that the same power that orchestrated the meeting will also provide the words and resources you need to fulfill the assignment. Divine synchronicity is never a setup for failure. It is an invitation to witness a miracle. Even if you feel unprepared or caught off guard, the fact that you are there is proof that you are equipped for the task. The words you speak in these moments are often not your own, but a channeled wisdom intended specifically for the heart in front of you. This is the magic of being a vessel for the divine. You are supported by the very force that sent you. Ultimately, being the answer to someone's prayer is the highest honor a chosen soul can receive. It creates a bond of spiritual gratitude that transcends human friendship. When that person looks back on their darkest day, they won't just remember their pain. They will remember the person who appeared out of nowhere to lead them toward the light. Your obedience to the flow of synchronicity ensures that the chain of hope remains unbroken. You are a vital participant in a global network of grace, proving every day that no one is truly alone in their struggle. The final call to action is the moment where your preparation meets the ultimate opportunity for impact, and your obedience becomes the literal bridge for someone else's miracle. There is a specific window of time in every crisis where the outcome is decided by whether or not the chosen one steps forward. Your yes is not just a personal decision, it is a life-altering event for the person waiting on the other side of your choice. Understanding the gravity of this moment allows you to push past your own limitations and act with a sense of divine authority that ensures the miracle is delivered. Your obedience is often the final piece of a complex puzzle that has been in motion for years. While you may only see the immediate act of kindness or the short conversation, you are actually completing a process of restoration that involved countless other hidden factors. This is why your participation is non-negotiable. Without your specific contribution, the miracle remains incomplete. You are the closing argument in the case for hope, the final touch that brings a long-awaited breakthrough into the physical world for someone who has almost lost their will to fight. To be the catalyst for a miracle, you must be willing to act even when you don't see the full picture or the final result. Faith is the engine of obedience, and it requires you to move in the dark with the confidence that the path will be illuminated as you go. Often the miracle doesn't happen when you think about it. It happens when you do it. The simple act of showing up and being available creates a vacuum that the divine fills with transformative power. Your willingness to be used is the only requirement for the impossible to become possible. The weight of someone else's future is often tied to your willingness to overcome your current fears or inconveniences. When you realize that your comfort is a small price to pay for another person's survival, you reach a level of spiritual maturity that is unshakable. This selflessness is the hallmark of the chosen. You are not just helping someone through a bad day, you are altering their destiny and the destinies of those they will eventually touch. Your obedience is an investment in a future that you may never see, but one that will be forever changed because you chose to act. In the end, the legacy of a chosen life is measured by the miracles that were allowed to happen because of your faithfulness. You are a gatekeeper of grace, and your obedience is the key that opens the door for others to escape their prisons. As you step into this final call, do so with the knowledge that you are backed by the full power of the heavens. Every move you make in alignment with this calling is successful. Your life is a testament to the fact that when one person listens and obeys, the entire world gets a little brighter, and the darkness is forced to retreat once again. Thank you for staying with me until the very end of this journey. We have explored the weight of your calling and the lives that are waiting for your yes. Remember, you are not just a spectator in this world. You are a vital instrument of divine intervention, placed here to be the light in someone else's darkest hour. Your existence is a strategic answer to a prayer that hasn't even been whispered yet. I want to hear from you now. What was the biggest realization you had during this video? How has your perspective on being chosen shifted today? Please share your thoughts in the comments below so we can grow together as a community of purpose. If you have made it this far, it shows that you are truly ready to accept your assignment. To show that you are part of this mission and to help this message reach more people who need to hear it, type the word Lifeline in the comments. By doing this, you are not only supporting the channel but also declaring your readiness to be a rescue for someone in need. Go out there today with your eyes open and your heart ready. You are the miracle someone is looking for. Until next time, keep shining your light.